Hello everyone and welcome to the Commexis Cast Daily for Tuesday, December 19th, 2017. All the news you need to know from our inbox to yours. I'm Matthew McGrorty, the videographer and podcaster here at Commexis, and today I am joined by the lead strategist at Commexis, Phillip Brooks.
Good afternoon, actually.
Yeah, and the president of Commexis, Len Ward.
Good afternoon.
So our first story today, me and Twitter have something in common. We are both overweight. So JP Morgan, thank you, I'm going to put a laugh track there for everybody. JP Morgan has upgraded Twitter's stock from neutral to overweight yesterday, which has boosted the shares of the social media stock and has been staging a comeback this year. So the new target is at $27, though I believe today, Len, you said it was about 25.
Last I saw it was trading a little over 25.
Okay. So from when this article was written earlier today, it was 27 up from $20, which is a 22% upside over the next 12 months. One of their analysts, JP Morgan's analyst, Doug N. Muth, laid out 4 reasons behind this upgrade. The first, video and live streaming improvement. The second, he now estimates that 10% daily active user growth for the next year. He estimates that advertising revenue growth will be greater than 8% in 2018. And he also said Twitter should be GAAP profitable in 2018. And just so you guys know, Twitter shares are up 30% since Q3 earnings in late October. So what about this product is really, making people catch their eyes?
Yeah, I mean, my first question is simply just, at what point do they actually start turning a profit? When that, what valuation makes them actually profitable? Does anybody even have an idea what that would be?
I have no idea what that is, to be honest with you.
Because I know that they've been running at a loss for a very, very long time, but it seems like they're finally starting to turn that corner. They've certainly made some strides to improve the users, not only the user experience, but to get some of the more vocal, hatred speech off of the platform as well.
Yeah, I think there was a story today where they were doing some bannings and suspensions.
They banned a lot of people, unsavory characters, essentially. And I think that with them showing that they actually have the wherewithal and the desire to police the platform and make it more safe for advertisers to put their messaging on it, that can only boost their ability to gain revenue through advertising. So, that definitely is one of the pillars upon what you mentioned, and I think that's got to be part of why that's starting to kind of pop a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the first thing that MNuth mentions in their reasons for boosting this was video and live streaming improvement. And there was another story yesterday, that Bloomberg had launched Tic-Toc, which is a 24/7 live streaming, basically news show, service, network, whatever you want to call it, on and through the Twitter user interface. So if you go onto TikTok's Twitter and you click, they have a pinned tweet you can click to get to the new user interface. And basically on the left, they have the live stream, which I believe, it looks like it's about 10 minutes every hour. And then on the right, which I think is the really great part about it, and which Len has talked about many times before being a really key thing, is a curated feed of tweets from Bloomberg reporters, from some other audience people, though they're curated, so you're not going to see anything too bad. So Len, I know you've talked about this before with NFL Red Zone and stuff like that. How big of an improvement do you think that this is going to be?
I think it's tremendous. I think the thing with Twitter is a lot of people, the major issue people have with Twitter is, well, I don't use it. I don't use Twitter. I think Twitter's future lies in using it as a news aggregator, and I've said that a lot, or even like a content aggregator where I love what they're doing with this TikTok. I mean, there's a live stream to the left-hand side. On the right-hand side, you're seeing all the other voices you want to hear that are relevant to the live stream that's going on, having an intelligent conversation. Well, intelligent to the best of their ability on Twitter. But I think if they can fine-tune that, and if they can really push the message that Twitter may not be a place for your voice. Twitter may be a place for you to go to hear other voices that you value in certain types of, say, news or TV shows or movies, whatever it may be. And I think that, obviously there's a spot for the individual as well. I think that there's a future there for them to kind of basically say, this is what the world is saying for the most relevant topic that you're looking on the left-hand side for the live feed, if that makes sense. And I see a real future where if more and more platforms go to the live feed, maybe even someone like us, and if we're having a conversation and we have people who are working behind us kind of adding tweets as to what we're saying as their own thoughts, that's a really great way to watch something right now, because I mean, it falls back to that stat where, I forget, the stat of something like 78% of people are actually on their phones as they're watching TV.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of times they're checking out what they're watching TV. So if Twitter could just find a way to perfect this, I think they're onto something.
I mean, if you're on Reddit with any sort of breaking news, you can just watch those threads just develop, and they tear through. And I think, honestly, with Bloomberg being the ones that are kind of taking on the forefront with this, they were sort of the pioneers with that look on cable news.
Yeah,
they
were.
had the same
Yes, they
thing.
were.
And I think that, if anybody can take that and make it work and translate it to a digital platform, I think that they have the wherewithal and the knowledge to make that work, because they understand how people consume that content. And they know how it worked on a television.
Yeah, and to talk about Twitter's messaging with the content aggregation, they just came out with, I think about a week or two ago, a couple new Twitter ads, which I thought were pretty funny, actually. So it's basically one person saying, this is how you use Twitter, and a lot of the ads were focused on, this is where you can see the cool stuff that you want to see. If you want to look at this topic, or you want to follow this celebrity or something like that, that's how you do it. And I think that is a really good angle. I mean, I don't tweet very often personally for my own stuff, but I will go on Twitter all the time to look at and retweet things that I am interested in. So I definitely think that is a strong thing that they should be looking towards in the future.
And a final note on that, that's the thing, if you have a topic or you're thinking about something, if you've never used Twitter search, use it. You'd be amazed at that data that comes right back to you. So if you're trying to make a decision on marketing or your business or whatever you're doing, go there. You'd be amazed of how valuable some of this stuff is that you're pulling from Twitter, and then you go in and can start following these people. And I say it all the time to people, turn it into your news aggregator. You'd be amazed how much you're on it and how valuable it is.
Yeah. And for our final story today, a little bit on digital transformation. Phillip, take it away.
So digital transformation is a topic that's near and dear to our hearts here at Commexis. It's something that we, basically build all of our strategies around. To just kind of give you some background, I want to share my favorite personal definition of what digital transformation is. And this comes from Brian Solis, who's a pretty big thought leader in the digital marketing world. But his definition is as follows. Digital transformation is the realignment of or new investment in technology, business models, and processes to drive new value for customers and employees and more effectively compete in an ever-changing digital economy. So it's basically saying, this is finding new ways to convert your existing assets and make them applicable to the digital model, and utilizing that from a top-down perspective. So every single part of your business is now geared towards working within that digital mindset, that everything that you do internally is part of that user experience from digital, and you're gearing all of your thought processes that way, saying there's somebody starting in a digital on the front end and they're getting to in the funnel that way, and you're walking them through the funnel ultimately to a path of purchase. So just to give that kind of background, but this article is essentially a bunch of statistics from the International Data Corporation about digital transformation and their forecasts for the next up to 2025. The first number that really sticks out is the worldwide spending on digital transformation is expected to reach 1.3 trillion in 2018, and they're projecting that by 2021 that will double to more than 2.1 trillion. So. Wow. We know that this is something that's coming, and it's something that we've tried to be out in front of as much as possible, and that's why we're absolutely advocating it as the strongest possibility of success for our clients, and that's why we build our strategies around it. So here's some other statistics just to throw. The industries that are investing the most in digital transformation this year are discrete manufacturing, professional services, process manufacturing, and transportation. Obviously, professional services is right in our wheelhouse for a lot of the clients that we handle. So, it's an important thing that they realize that this is not just something that other competitors are stepping into this arena, and we need to keep them on par with them so that they can continue to succeed. And the 5-year forecast, the two businesses that are supposed to put the most into are construction, retail, and finally healthcare. So that's actually 3 businesses. And healthcare is, again, another a business model that we're dealing with a lot of clients under. So, again, these are people that are right in our wheelhouse. These are clients that we're dealing with, and this is directly applicable to what you guys do every single day. And then to just kind of close it out, geographically speaking, the United States will see spending of up to $437 billion in 2018, followed closely by Asia and the Pacific at $412 billion. So, again, there's a lot of industries that this all touches, and again, this is something that's really, really important to not only what your business model needs to convert to, but what we are telling our clients to do as well.
Yeah, and just a small note on that. There was an eMarketer report also about digital transformation that I was looking at, and they talked about, as you mentioned, user experience being sort of the leading portion of this. So one of the things that they talked about was that you have to meet the needs and expectations of the customer, and that will drive your transformation. And they had a couple examples in there. I'll link that report as well as this one in there. But I think that is a definite focal point to focus on. Another thing that they mentioned was, asking yourself, what is my weak point and how do I address this with technology? And in that case, your weak point would be like, where am I weak on getting to and meeting the customer expectations and needs? So
I really have nothing to add. You guys really just hit that. The only thing I would say about digital transformation is just, as your company is beginning to embark on a digital transformation, you make sure you have the right people who are making these decisions on digital transformation. Clearly, like we say here, you have to start off with a creative message and a creative brand, and it's how that creative message and creative brand goes through the journey and the funnel of digital transformation that's ultimately going to reach your client. But there are certain things that are meant for the IT department, and there are certain things that are meant for the marketing department. Don't cross the two, although sometimes, believe it or not, you have some people who actually, some IT people and marketing people are actually very good coexisting together at a company, but that is something to be clear. Digital transformation, there's a few pieces to the pie, and two of the most important are your IT and how you can interpret information coming back, and your marketing department. So I think that's going to be, as this year, the most critical thing the decisions are going to make are who are leading my digital transformation within my company. Choose very wisely as to who should be leading your digital transformation, because this isn't not something you have to think about investing in, it's something you have to invest in. And you don't want to set your company back a couple of years. Right now, you have to make the intelligent decision. Agencies like us are what can help you, move over or move forward to digital, transforming your company. You might need to edit that a little bit.
Well, thank everybody for tuning in to today's episode of the Commexis Cast Daily. Check us out tomorrow for more of the latest trending news. Have a great day.